Steph with Stefsonabudget. Welcome or welcome back for another video. Today we are going to be setting up our bi-weekly budget for May 31st. This is technically the last payday of May for us, which would be a magic month, but realistically this is covering one bill for the month of May, and it's going to cover all of our bills for the first half of June. So usually the way I see the benefit from a magic month is I just never flat out have like an extra check. Woohoo! Usually what happens is my fixed expenses are a little bit less each paycheck because it's dispersed over 3 instead of 2 paychecks. So that's usually where I see the most benefit, but you know, it's not like a huge impact on our budget. It seems like it just doesn't work out that way. But we're primarily going to cover that one bill that's not even really a bill anymore in May, and then we're mostly covering the first part in June. So this is my June monthly spread. And so we are looking to pay everything that is highlighted in the red. If you're new to my channel, I do a bi-weekly budget. So my husband and I both work full-time. We're paid every 2 weeks on Friday, the same Friday. And I use the Budget Mom highlighter method. So that's what you're looking at here. So essentially I break down each payday and highlight per color what needs to get paid with that payday. So we're looking at everything that is here in red. So let's go ahead and flip on over to our paycheck budget tracker. So I use the Budget Mom's printable workbook. And so that is what we're using here. And so I print it off and then I stick my budget pages into a big happy planner. And I just use the happy planner, you know, that's for the month. That's in the planner, if that makes sense. Sorry, words are hard. All right, let me pull out the June tracker here. And then I'm going to move the giant book, my friends. Okay, and then I've got some extra papers here because I need more padding. I just have a heavy hand, I guess. All right, so this is our May 31st paycheck. And like I said, my husband and I are both paid bi-weekly for a full-time paycheck. So we expect a pay 1 and a pay 2 for this payday. And that is all I'm anticipating as far as income goes. And so our pay 1, usually what I'll set up is a budgeted amount, and I'll always budget for the lowest case scenario for our paycheck. And then I'll come back in and do the actual, which I'm sure most of you have seen how that works. So I actually already know what pay 1 is because those pay stubs are available to view the day before. And so I'm going to go ahead and still use the budgeted column, and that pay 1 is going to come in at $3,191. And then I'm going to budget the lowest case scenario for our second pay, which is going to be $1,700. So let me move this over here. So we're looking at $4,891 for income. So we'll bring that down here. All right. And then as far as expenses, so the biggest thing you're going to notice is I don't have that half of a mortgage. That's where we're seeing a big chunk come off of like our budgeted amount, because we already, with our first 2 paychecks in May, we set aside our mortgage payment for June, and I've already made that payment. And then for July's payment, we'll use the 2 June paychecks to set aside the mortgage for July. Okay, we do have an Apple Card that we have paid off on this journey together. And so we're gonna use that debt snowball, and we're gonna budget $200 for that. So we're gonna come down to the fixed expenses section now, friends. Sorry, I'm just kind of jumping all over the place. Now, there is a section here for extra debt. I leave these debt snowballs in the fixed expenses because it's just a mental thing. It tricks me into thinking I still have that bill and that money goes towards debt versus getting ate up in the budget somewhere else that I don't want it to go. Okay, then I have a student loan payment. I cannot wait for these to be gone, but we've got quite a ways to go. And we're gonna budget $100 for that. We have our internet, which is going up this month, unfortunately. So that's gonna be $65. We have an Amazon card that has been paid off, but my husband's Kindle subscription goes to this card. And so there was like $12 and some change for the Kindle subscription. But then he also ordered some hammock straps that he needed, and he was out camping and just used the Amazon card. So I'm gonna go ahead and account for getting that paid off as well. So $35 I'm gonna pay towards our Amazon card, so that's back at a zero balance. Okay, next up we have our truck payments. We have our Tacoma, and that's $1,013. And I'm just rounding up to the next nearest dollar, you guys. I don't deal with change in my budget. So anything change-wise just stays in the account as a buffer. Okay, we have a Chase card with our income taxes. And so we're gonna put $50 towards that. Our natural gas bill is due. That's on the 8th, and this one came down nicely. It's $41. Okay, then we have, we also paid off a personal loan at the very beginning of January, and so we have that debt snowball as well, and that's $150. We have our electric bill, which came in at $158, which is awesome because we've been running the air, but I expect this to jump up quite a bit next month. We'll see. Okay, and then that would technically be everything, but I'm actually gonna go ahead and also pay my Subaru payment for June. Even though this isn't due till towards the end of the month, and we have another paycheck before then, but we're gonna go ahead and pay the $459 now, because if I don't, I have very, very little expenses this payday and very high the next one, and I don't want such a misbalance. And so I'm gonna go ahead and pay that early to kind of offset that, so I don't have, you know, quite as much fixed expenses next time. So hopefully that makes sense. So let's go ahead and add up what we've got here. Okay, we're looking at $22.71. So this is really where the magic comes in for us, because normally my fixed expenses per paycheck range from $3,000 to about $3,200. So it's a pretty big difference, and that's where we are seeing the difference. Okay, so let's take $22.71 from the $4,891 of income, and that's going to leave us with $2,620 to bring down to our variable expenses. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and I'm going to tilt you just a bit, guys, and I'll fill these in and speed you up here. Okay, so I've got them all listed out. Nothing is really earth-shattering and changing here, so we're gonna budget $300 for our groceries. If you're new here, we are a family of 6, but we are a household of 5. My oldest son lives out on his own, so we're budgeting for 5 people for a 2-week period. We're gonna put $200 to Costco. House and Beauty gets $40, miscellaneous gets $40, $360 goes to spending. We put $100 to takeout. We pay for drinking water roughly every 2 to 3 weeks, you guys, and that went way up in price, and so we're gonna budget $42 now. we're gonna budget $35 for pets, and we're going to, we're actually going to increase the gas budget. I think I'm gonna budget $200, you guys, because I am driving like crazy for work again. And I already need to fill up. So I think that's probably gonna be the safest bet, and we have some extra income to cover that. So let's go ahead and add these up. Okay, so we're looking at $13.17 here. And if we take that from our $26.20, that leaves us with $1,303 left over. And so we're gonna bring that on up here to our sinking funds. So 1,303. All right, and then we're going to put in, you know, all the savings we're working on right now, which includes our month ahead, our emergency fund. We're working to add on $1,000 to that this year. We have Christmas, of course. We have just like our regular savings challenges. We have our debt binder. Okay, so for these categories, since we know we have extra funds, I normally put $33 a paycheck to our month ahead. We're gonna go ahead and double that up to $66 this time, you guys. We're gonna put our $40 to our emergency fund, because if we put $40 per paycheck, that will get us the $1,000. We're gonna put $100 into Christmas, and we're going to do, let me see, 1303. This part is always the hardest for me. Okay, I normally put 200 into savings challenges. So let's see what that looks like. And then we normally put 300 to our debt binder. Okay, perfect. And then my oldest daughter's birthday is this weekend. She's turning 21, you guys. It's just, it's crazy. And she's such a sweetheart. So I'm gonna put $100 towards birthday, just to add on to what we have. I've already done her birthday shopping, so yay me. But it's also my son's girlfriend's birthday this weekend, but they're out of town celebrating, so I have a little bit more time for her. So I might actually bump that up a little bit now that I'm talking it out with you guys, because we still have $497. 100 needs to go to my checking buffer. I'm still working on building this up, you guys, because we still continue to use it. Unfortunately, it seems like I probably realistically need to increase our takeout funds. I'm being very stubborn though. But I think I probably can't be any longer, because that's typically what's eating into our checking buffer. Although this week we've been doing really good at making sure we're having dinner at home and stuff. Although the girls and I did go eat on Monday. So, whoops, we had $397. Okay. I do want to send more to debt. So I'm gonna do a debt snowball, and I'd like to put 200 towards that, just straight up. So 397 minus 200 leaves us with 197. So I will probably increase these. Okay, let me get some white out. So I think what I'd like to do, and I think I'm gonna change this checking buffer too, because I've got to account for another 197. So I think I'm gonna do 125 into Christmas. So that's minus 25. Let's see if we could do 250 into our savings challenges. So that's another 50. Let's do, another $50 into birthday, and then let's do 172 to our buffer, and that takes care of that last $72. So let me add all this up here. So this is 931 going into, you know, savings. And if we take that from the 1,303, we've got 372 left, which we're gonna bring down to the debt section. We're gonna take 200 from that, which leaves us with the 172. And we'll bring that down to extra savings, and that's what we're putting in our buffer, which gets us finally to that zero-based budget. So yay, we are going to be able to put quite a bit more than usual to savings. So hopefully that all pans out. Remember, we're going off the budgeted amount here, so we'll hope that that seems to be the case. Maybe we'll even have some more depending on that second check. We did have some PTO time, so I'm not too sure. It could potentially be lower. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good setup for what we're looking at. And then tomorrow, of course, by the time you see this, will actually be payday, because I'm filming this Thursday, the day before. I'll be able to make the adjustments. And as we do like our cash stuffings and stuff, you guys, and our, you know, savings challenges, we'll see if that extra money is in there. But that is going to do it for me. I hope you made it to the end for another budget with me. I appreciate you guys just being here, supporting all your comments. I'm doing my most best to keep up and, you know, work. My full-time job has just really been rough and kind of rocky. And there's probably some big changes coming, and I'm honestly just a little afraid to kind of speak those into the universe. So I'm just kind of waiting to see, but it's been pretty nerve-wracking and stressful. But so I appreciate you guys. I'm trying to be as engaged as I can, and thank you guys so much for being here. But I'll quit rambling. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. If you like this one, please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button to stick around, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.